This morning, National City Police are looking for whoever shot and killed two teenagers outside of a Halloween party. Thanks for being here at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampur. Glad to have you here with us. Now, the victims were an 18-year-old man and a 16-year-old girl. The shooting happened Friday about 11:30 p.m. This was East 17th Street in National City. You see the memorial. Many neighbors set up there at the scene. Candles and flowers are out there.
Losing a child is devastating, for anybody, and I think it's the worst thing for anyone to have to go through, especially something senseless.
Now, police say they still do not know what led up to this shooting, and they do not have a suspect description at all. They're asking anybody who was at that party in National City or who was maybe nearby, maybe saw something, give the police department or Crime Stoppers a call.
This morning, a 15-year-old boy is in custody accused of stabbing two other teens in Encinitas. It happened Saturday night during a house party on Crest Drive. The sheriff's department says it started with a fight that spilled into the streets. The victims, both 17, one boy was stabbed in the hand. The other had more serious injuries to his stomach and a broken finger. The suspect accused of attacking House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband is expected to be charged with multiple felonies today. David DePappy will then appear in court tomorrow. Authorities say DePappy attacked Paul Pelosi with a hammer inside his San Francisco home on Friday morning. The House Speaker was not there at the time. Sources tell CBS News that DePappy had a list of people he wanted to target. Paul Pelosi is still recovering from a skull fracture.
Well, now housing and homelessness, two major issues here in San Diego. Today marks a vote on a plan looking to address both of those big concerns.
CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol is live with the big issue that's going to be going before the San Diego City Council here today. Good morning.
Good morning, Eric and Netta. That's right. Two things will be introduced. One of those, declaring housing a human right. And the second will be the creation of a tenant protections ordinance workshop. Those two things are aimed at helping and finding solutions of homelessness and the housing crisis here in San Diego.
If we prioritize housing, then we should be also, and I think our leaders are, prioritizing funding for the Housing Commission and for affordable housing developers to increase density, to increase housing. We have such a short supply of affordable housing right now. All of the people who are renting, they understand, they can empathize, they understand that housing is so expensive in San Diego.
Well, the resolution declaring housing a human right states that the City Council will ensure those who have historically not had access to adequate housing, that they are prioritized. Also to open high opportunity neighborhoods to those previously excluded, as well as include those who lived experience to identify equitable solutions. Now also the creation of a tenant protection ordinance workshop. This is a place where public council members as well as stakeholders can submit suggestions that will strengthen the rights of renters and prevent people from falling into homelessness. Now I do want to mention the no-fault eviction moratorium that passed in the spring expired on September 30th. So that's why Sean Elo Rivera, the City Council president, said this is really important at this time because the ever-increasing cost of housing could force more people onto the streets, and an ordinance must be created to protect tenants to allow people to stay in their homes. Now, the meeting will be happening this morning. Of course, we will keep you updated on what is discussed, and those two items, further updates, CBS8.com is a great resource for you. I'm Dana Marie McNichol coming to you live from Harbor Island.
All right, Dana Marie, thank you for that. And the midterm election, we are just 8 days away from it. You can vote in person right now. Go to 39 different voting centers around San Diego County. You have options. Another 179 will be opening on Saturday. We have a list of all these locations at CBS8.com. Find the one closest to you. And then a reminder, you do need to mail or drop off your mail ballot by or on Election Day, which is November 8th. If you did not register in time to get a mail ballot, you can still register and vote in person on the same day, November 8th.
All right, as we know, Halloween is here, and we are working for you to make sure it's a safe and a festive one, whether you're celebrating with family or friends.
CBS 8's Chris Grow live in Chula Vista now. Chula Vista just named one of the top places for trick-or-treating in the entire country. That is quite the recognition. Good morning, Chris.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun time out here, especially at East Lake Village. They're going to be doing a special event here from 3 to 5 p.m. so you can trick or treat when it's still light outside, maybe see everybody's costumes, but also feel a little safer. And it's actually safety that is a big reason why Chula Vista is number 4.
It's a nice walking area, so you feel a little safer that your kids can be out walking around and enjoying what they've got.
I just love getting candy. I mean, I want to have a year's supply,
All right, a year's supply. Let's see if she's able to actually get that done, because that's important. You want to make sure you're stocked up, maybe keep that in your closet or underneath your bed, and kind of keep going to that as the year goes on. But Chula Vista, San Diego, and Oceanside all ranked within the top 16 cities of best places to trick-or-treat. Chula Vista, again, actually 4th due to weather and safety. The city actually offers the 10th lowest property crime rate and 32nd lowest violent crime rate. But we do have tips for you at home to safely trick-or-treat no matter where it is that you are going. Try to walk on sidewalks, or try to tell your kids to walk on sidewalks if they're old enough to go out on their own. Make sure, if you can, to go get some reflective tape and put that on the back of their costumes, especially if they're going to be someone like Darth Vader or, a character from Lord of the Rings or something like that where they might have a darker costume. Make sure they have that reflective tape. Stay aware of cars, and as a driver yourself, please watch out for trick-or-treaters. But take a listen to what Chula Vista Police also had to say about how to stay safe on Halloween.
Make sure that we put our phones down so that we're looking at who is handing out candy at every house. Please inspect your candy before you consume any. You never know, it's possible anywhere.
And the other great thing about today's event here at the East Lake Village, it's free. So again, 3 to 5 p.m. Take your kids out here in their costumes when they get out of school and have a really fun time in what will be likely a very beautiful day and a very beautiful spot as well, too. Eric and Netta.
All right, Chris, thank you for bringing that to us. Congrats, Chula Vista. Enjoy the night over there. Here are some Halloween events also happening around town. Let's take you to Poway first. Participating businesses there will hand out treats starting at 2 p.m. And then in La Mesa, kids can trick-or-treat at the Grossmont Center, the mall starting at 3 p.m. And stores and restaurants will hand out goodies at the shops at Carlsbad. That starts at 4. We have a lot more Halloween events on our website, cbs8.com. So,
checking in with Evan Rockstar.
There he is.
Good morning.
Wow.
I know. I guess you could call me Taylor Swift. You could, whatever you'd prefer. I was wondering if it was almost like a Machine Gun Kelly kind of vibe, but I think his hair is shorter.
Yeah.
Are you getting hairs in your eyes?
It's in my eyes. I know.
This is what happens when you have long hair.
I was just going to say, these are the struggles the people with long hair have to go
through. The back of my neck is abnormally warm. It keeps it insulated here when you have the longer hair.
Having long hair.
Exactly. It is a small perk. Good morning. Happy Halloween to you. We're looking live outside. Well, we were looking at what your temperatures are for this afternoon. A little bit of fog as we kick off the day. We've got those temperatures mostly in the 50s. Come on over. Here, it looks like we have another guest in the studio here. What? Oh, there we go. You can give the forecast. You're almost keying out there. I know. I think I'm going to go with Taylor Swift, but I also don't mind saying Heather Myers. I'm a tanned Heather Myers. We're seeing temperatures build to the upper 70s for your inland valleys this afternoon. It's another mild day. If you saw conditions over the weekend, they were incredible. They were quiet, they were calm, they were mild, and we're going to hang on to that throughout your Halloween. By the time we get into tomorrow, though, that's when we start to see clouds build, and you can already see those clouds starting to begin. We're kind of setting the stage for it by the time we get through the day today. Temperatures are going to be dropping by the afternoon, so beyond about 3 p.m., and that means walking out the door for trick-or-treating beyond 4. That sunset coming at 5:59. Well, temperatures are going to be in the about 60s out there. Visibility right now, 10 miles, but we've got some issues off toward Coronado. That's where we're at, 1.5 miles of visibility. And then wet weather arrives for the midweek point. So Wednesday is when we've got conditions changing out there. Let's switch gears, talk about traffic this morning. So far, things have been quiet on the roads. You can see what drive times look like out the door. We are in the green out there. So for now, I will send things back to you. I don't know if I could handle the hair. It just gets in my face.
You know, this is like a moment to experience life as a woman.
That's
I guess
right.
this is what happens when you don't, like, you really have to do your hair.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's just like,
I was going to suggest a little brushing there at the
Yes,
edge.
we need to throw a comb through
wow.
that. Yeah.
I'll leave it to you, Netta,
Now
and
I
then I'll
have the
put this
hair
thing back
shaming
on.
going on, all these things happening.
She's got all the brushes and straighteners and curlers. Everything's over there.
Of my supplies
it's
anytime.
20 feet away from you.
I love it.
Get on that, Netta.
I love how you just kept a straight face and did a forecast. Huge props, Evan. No rock star.
No rock star.
Yeah, that was it. $1 billion now up for grabs in tonight's Powerball jackpot.
There were no top prize winners for Saturday's drawing. 2 people in California did come close, though, matching 5 of the numbers, but not the Powerball. They were sold in Pico Rivera here in Southern California and Markleeville in Northern California. So each of those tickets worth $500,000. Tonight's drawing, the second largest jackpot in Powerball history. The biggest ever was $1.5 billion, which was split by 3 ticket holders in 2016. I think I could still split this $1 billion jackpot.
problem.
That's fine. We asked you what you would do if you won the jackpot, and here's some comments from our Facebook page. Mary says, take the money and leave California for a country lifestyle. Yeah, probably buy a little bit more land with that, right?
Like our whole country.
Daniel says, I would donate 20% to charities in the first place.
Wow.
That's cool. Love that. Cynthia says, I would not say a word. Yep, mum's the word when you're a billionaire. And Catherine says, pay off my student loans, and then with the remaining $10, probably grab a burrito.
Oh, Catherine.
Wow, come on, the loans can't be that
How big are your
much.
loans?
But it certainly would take care of that pretty quickly.
Yeah, at least relieve yourself of any debt. This morning, one San Diegan could be a new millionaire. A Super Lotto Plus ticket worth $38 million was claimed just before it was set to expire. This is the one we told everyone about last week. So it was sold at the 7-Eleven store on Spruce Street way back in April. Somebody walked into the San Diego Lottery office just before it closed last week when that deadline was happening, and they filled out the claim. Officials still have to verify that that person is indeed the winner.
If that person found out about it or was reminded about the ticket by watching CBS 8, I do believe we get part of the cut of that.
I mean, if they want to, yeah. A couple bucks, throw it this way.
I thought it was in the contract somewhere. So.